Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here, and welcome to another episode of our Hot Lap Battle. This time featuring two supercars which have been around for over half a decade now, the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta and the Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4. As we all know, during the time when both these cars were released, they were essentially each other's biggest rivals, and looking at the stats of both cars given from Horizon 3, we can see that the Aventador is one class higher than the F12 at S2 and being rated at 904. It's not that much of an increase in comparison to the F12's 875 classed at S1. Of course, with the F12 being a front-engine rear-wheel drive layout, its launch suffers the most in comparison to the Aventador's all-wheel drive layout, but the rest of the stats like braking, acceleration, speed and handling only fall slightly behind the Lambo. Now, looking at the real performance figures, we can see that the F12 Berlinetta produces 30 more horses than the Aventador at 730. However, that advantage immediately diminishes by weighing slightly more, and of course, as I mentioned before, the front engine rear wheel drive layout of the F12 could potentially pay dividends against its all wheel drive rival. So now we'll place both these cars around our test track for an initial impressions and then the final hot lap in a side-by-side comparison. First up, the Lamborghini Aventador. Okay, so I'm in the Lamborghini Aventador right now, ready to give you guys an impressions lap, and right off the line, the all-wheel drive layout of the Aventador just absolutely rockets the car from 0 to 60 with absolute ease, and I have to say, driving the Aventador feels very similar to driving the Lamborghini Centenario. And if you guys have watched my last hot lap battle, I did say that the Centenario didn't feel as sharp as the Veneno, but nonetheless the grip, the acceleration, the braking is still very good in the Aventador. Of course, this car produces 50 brake horsepower less than the Centenario, which means acceleration or top speed may not be as fast or as quick as the Centenario, but it's only going to be a second or two slower than the Centenario. But apart from that, this car, there's nothing to complain about, very easy to drive. But now we'll move across to the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. Okay, so right now I'm in the F12 Berlinetta, and right off the line, of course, the front engine rear wheel drive layout that the F12 possesses makes the car fairly difficult to launch, and coming off the second corner, the car just, the turn-in feels very sluggish. The steering rack feels relatively quite slow, which means whenever I enter a corner, I have to brake fairly early in order for me to try to clip the apex. But right here, the straight, this is where the F12 shines the most, and as you can see here, I'm just almost going wide because I'm so used to braking somewhat quite late in most of the supercars. The F12 just feels very heavy, and this car to me is one of the most difficult cars to try to drive, simply because the steering is slow, and then I have to feather the throttle properly while braking early in order for me to smoothly transition through the corners, because if I accelerate a bit too quickly, I am spinning out the F12 Berlinetta for sure. And of course, if you're viewing it from an audience point of view, it may just look like I'm driving extremely slow, but I'm not. I'm trying to drive it as fast as possible without having to wheel spin and also clip all the apexes while generating as much speed possible. Anyways, now it's time to place both the Aventador and the F12 Berlinetta in their hot lap battle in a side-by-side comparison. Now it's time to see where both these cars are ranked in our current leaderboards, where some of the fastest cars have gone around our test track. With the Lamborghini Aventador clocking a lap time of 56.1 seconds, it is currently placed in 14th position, just slightly slower than the Dodge Viper ACR, and the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta clocked a lap time just 1 whole second slower than the Aventador, ranking at 15th position in our overall leaderboards, beating the Chevrolet Corvette Z06. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this hot lap battle. If you guys did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more Forza Horizon 3 content done by me, make sure to subscribe to my channel as well, as that will really help me out for future content. Anyways, I hope I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.